Hey, everybody. Melinda Russell here with the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. And as you can tell, I'm not in Michigan. I'm not in my office. I'm actually in my granddaughter's bedroom. And sometimes when I come, you couldn't walk through the bedroom. She's 12 years old, but she's got it so cleaned up and looking good that I told her I was going to take her out to dinner tonight. So that was a nice surprise. So I'm in Arizona. My friend Mike is on the show, is going to tell us what's new with Drag and Drive. We had you on, maybe, was it in February already gone by? I don't remember. I think it was February. Where did the months
Probably.
go, Mike? But here we are. We're hot into racing of every kind. So I want you to share with my listeners what's new in the Drag and Drive world.
Oh my goodness. Well, I want to say first off, thank you so much for having me back on. I know you are a very busy lady, and obviously, if you're down there and taking folks to dinner and stuff like that, I wish I was there. It sounds like a good time.
Would be fun.
You have been so busy. You've been so kind to have us on tonight and make time for us tonight. So I appreciate that. And
Sure.
I just want to tell everybody, my name is Mike Narx. I run draganddrive.com and the Drag and Drive Addiction Group. And essentially what we do is we cover everything drag and drive, every racer, every event, all the stats that go along with that. We have all of the historical data that surrounds the entire drag and drive event history. And if you don't know what a drag and drive is, essentially you and your co-pilot or you by yourself load up your race car with everything you're going to need for 3 to 7 days. And you are solely in your race car at your own wits to fix it if you are roadside bound, and you race every day. So you're driving anywhere from 300 to 1,000 miles, depending on the event, and racing every day. We use your averages to place the standings within the event. So you can't come out and be a hero one day and then slower the other days. You have to be a hero every day. So it's pretty amazing. And the Drag and Drive community has grown from 4 events 3 years ago to now more than 30 across the entire world. It's so exciting to see all this stuff that's coming from that.
When you started Drag and Drive, what was your goal? Did you think you would ever see 30 events?
Oh my goodness. No, I hoped we would. And I think what's happened is everybody struggled for so long to get into these national level events, which are the week-long events, that a lot of people decided, hey, I can probably put one of those on. And we're seeing the effects of that. We're seeing so many new promoters coming into the industry, and that will only help with not only drag and drive, but also the drag racing and the drag, tracks, drag race, drag strips, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Because, it's like a snowball rolling downhill. It just keeps gathering more people and more people. And prior to us talking, I really hadn't heard of Drag and Drive. And so now, now that I'm aware of it, I see things about it much more because I'm aware of it. It's all about getting the word out there so that people know what's happening, where these events are, so they can participate.
Well, and that's exactly right. And that's what we do on the website, draganddrive.com. We actually have a full running list of events that you can find in our news segment that you can click on the links, takes you right to that event so you can register if you wanted to. Again, that's draganddrive.com/news. And then I saw, you are paying a little more attention because I saw Emily Ballard had an article in the newest issue. That's exciting. So love it when we see some other drag and drive racers out in the world in magazines and things like that, like yours. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of happened by accident, actually. I think, I can't remember if I reached out to her before I knew you or right after, but I collect names of women in motorsports every day. It's literally every day. Now, I've taken a couple days off while I'm here in Arizona because I'm here with daughters and grandkids.
Yeah.
But other than that, seriously, I get names sent to me all the time. And so it's no wonder that those paths have crossed, the Emily Ballard and you and I, for sure.
That's exactly right. And one neat thing about Emily is she is the fastest female racer of 2022 for all of drag and drive events, which is pretty amazing. Now, she's going to have a big step if she's going to take that over in 2023, because Miss Alex Taylor has already set a 6-second average at Sick Week this year. So pretty impressive in her 55 at more than almost 200 miles an hour average. 5 days in a row of racing a 6-second car. It's pretty amazing. So
yeah, that's very amazing. And I have reached out to her as well. And I know she's crazy busy, but we're going to hope to get her on a podcast here soon, one of these days, for sure. So, what else is going on? What's coming up? What are you excited about for this year?
Oh my goodness. So I'll talk about events, and then I'm going to talk about probably the biggest news that's happened to Drag and Drive since it started. Over the next 11 weeks, so you think I was busy before, over the next 11 weeks, there are 14 Drag and Drive events across the world. 10 of them are here in the States, and 4 of them are in like the UK and Australia and places like that. It's really amazing to see just this crazy, crazy growth. And it also makes racing worldwide. So a partner like Summit for us is perfect, because those guys sponsor events across the world. Right. So they're part of the entire Drag and Drive community. So we love Summit Racing, and they sponsor everything: the Drag and Drive news, the Drag and Drive show, and all of our racer lists. Okay. But the big news right now is the Drag and Drive World Champion presented by Summit. This is a game changer for real for this entire community, because until now, there's never been a point series. There's never been anything that linked events together. Once we partnered with Summit, we started kind of getting all of our brainstorms going together. And with them having so many other racing points series that they sponsor, they were like, hey, is this something that you think could work in Drag and Drive? And so we started these conversations back in November. Well, then as events just kept rolling in, I'm like, I think we really have a great opportunity for 2023 to be this rollout of World Champion. And so we went with it, and we spent 3 months putting together a entire point series. What constitutes a points eligible event, and how could someone that is maybe a slower car, it's hard to say this, how can a slower 850 car in the quarter mile that runs 160 miles an hour also compete and win this with a real opportunity, compared to just giving it to the fastest car of the year, So we've capped it at 3 events. So not only will we be looking for racers that finish events, that's your main thing. You've got to finish, because you're not going to get the needed points for the event if you're not going to finish. Then you've got to win your class. Then you've also got to set records within that class if you intend to win the first ever Drag and Drive World Champion. And the reason we added the last little caveat there is because this 850 racing, this class of people, they are so intense in their racing that we're literally looking at guys that are running 8500 on the number during a race week. And not just day 1. This is like day 3 and 4, like Dustin Trance and Steve Trance. They ran a perfect pass on day 3 of Hot Rod Drag Week last year. We had Aaron Schaefer this year running 85001. I mean, wow. Like 1/1000th of a second difference. So we had Aaron on the Drag and Drive show last week, and he said this may be the only year that an 850 car can win it, because I'm fixing to come out and stomp these 850 records at every event that he attends. So it's pretty exciting. One thing we have seen already is the top tier guys, typically when they would do 1 or 2 events a year, now like Doc McIntyre and Jeff McConnell, who run the fastest naturally aspirated Drag and Drive car, they would only do 1 event a year because of their scheduling and because how hard that car is to keep going and things. Well, Doc has already signed up for Summit Racing Midwest Drags, which is awesome. Going to love that. I'm going to be an announcer there, so I'm going to see him there. And he's trying to pick between Hot Rod Drag Week as his 3rd one. So we're looking at really an opportunity here where racers are going to come out, and instead of doing 1 or 2, now they're going to do 2 or 3 and really chase this world champion point series. Pretty amazing.
That's really amazing. And the fact that, you started just yourself with an idea,
Yep.
and now you've got Summit behind you, and
Yep.
they're helping to make this known worldwide. And so, that's there's a fly in here. Sorry. And so that's just that's what it takes. It takes an idea, it takes
Yep.
passion, and then it takes connections.
That's
Right?
right. And then it takes a lot of work, because right now I still don't have a formula down to where I can easily pick. I can't just put in Excel and go, hey, give me the points these guys have they accumulated. So it's a lot of manual manipulation. And
Yeah.
the wild part is, I know this is probably boring to everybody, but as you go through, you see more neat, interesting facts. So then in turn, it just continues to add to my article idea list. So now we're up to about 45 articles I want to write. And if I can find time to write those and contact those racers, and to basically do what you do, how much time it takes to
It takes a
put
long
together the
time.
information. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it's inspiring I read a lot of your most recent magazine. It's inspiring to see all those kids and all those females out there racing. And, really, I think as your magazine does a great job of telling that story. And what's going to be really cool is in 10 years, when those young women have been in that magazine
Yeah.
over 10 years of time, and we'll see the accolades
Yeah.
and things like that they gained. So it's pretty cool.
It is cool. And, I've been writing since 2017. So we're starting to see some of those 10, 12-year-old girls, grow up a little more. But like
Yeah.
you said, in 2027, hopefully I'm still doing it. It'll be even more amazing to see
Yeah.
what those girls have done, and where they've, made an impact on motorsports.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so fun. I meet, and you do too, meet so many fun, interesting people that
Yeah.
I would never have heard of their names had somebody not suggested it to me, or I saw their name in a post about racing or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And it just every day, it's like, who am I going to meet today?
Right.
And it just makes it so fun. And the magazine, of course, I was interrupted in doing other things, but it basically took me 3 to 4 days to put
Wow.
that magazine together. And
That's awesome.
it was a bigger issue this time, a little bit,
Mhm.
because we didn't do one in April. But it's something that I enjoy doing, and
Yeah.
my newspaper background comes in handy to put it together. And so,
Right.
until I physically or just can't do it, I'm going to keep telling stories about women in motorsports because I love doing that.
That's right. And one thing that we've noticed on this side for drag and drive stuff is the number of females that are coming into the sport of not just drag and drive events, but drag and drive racing, or sorry, not just drag and drive, but drag racing.
Drag
So we're
racing.
seeing a lot of that. One
Yeah.
thing that is a little bit of a benefit for a lot of the women that are out there is there may be a little bit, their race weight is a little better than some of us guys.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
tend to carry a little more weight. So that's always a plus, and I think if you really ran the numbers, their reaction times are probably a little faster than,
Yeah.
I know they're faster than mine. So, so
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome too.
It really is. I'll
Yep.
tell you a quick story. When I started Women in Motorsports back in 2017, I knew there were a fair amount of women in motorsports, but I
Mhm.
didn't really follow drag racing that much, even though Martin, Michigan is close. I didn't really follow it that much, but
Yeah.
I did go up there that first year in 2018 to a big event they had. I can't remember which one it was. And I was blown away by how many little girls there
Yeah.
were, and teenagers,
Yep.
and women. And I was thinking, if there's that many that are coming to Martin, Michigan, which I know it's a bigger track and it was a big event,
Mhm.
if that many are coming there, how many
Yeah.
are there that are out there racing?
Oh,
And
for sure.
it's I don't even know what the numbers are, but they're huge. And then, the same goes with street stock and and late models and whatever else, motorcycles. The women just keep growing and growing in these sports. And I just, I could spend days and days and days writing stories of people that have contacted me.
Yes. And you do spend days and days and days.
Well, I do, but
that there's so many of them, and it's so amazing that there is an opportunity for those folks to have an outlet with you to tell their story. And like Emily, that article was great. So we're going to be sharing that on the dragondrive.com page.
Gals, and a couple of gals, usually, they fill out a questionnaire because that helps me see whether it's a story that's going to be beneficial to put in. And I'll be honest, I've only had one person in all this time that I did not put in the magazine. And it was just, there was a lot of like family kind of drama and stuff. And I just feel comfortable with it. But I've written probably, I don't know, there was like maybe 9 stories this time. So I've probably written about 460 or 70 stories.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
They fill out a questionnaire, but what I was going to say is Carter Platt, and I know her mom helped her, but these were her words, and she's only like 6 years old. And she answered the questions, and then her mom, typed it up or whatever. And then there was another gal, and gosh, it just escaped me. But I love when they take the time to really write their story. If I have questions, then I give them a call or I send them a message about, hey, what did you mean about this or whatever. It doesn't happen a lot that I have to do that. But when they write it so well that I don't have to do anything but proof it, number one, that saves me a ton of time. And number two, it's more authentic when they've written it. I try to put a lot of quotes in the stories, but when they actually write, I think it's just so much more authentic, and I love it. I love sharing it.
Yep. Well, and a lot of times that, this is a little bit of a teaching moment here for folks that helps create a longer, better story, than just 1 or 2 word answers too. So when someone does reach out, kind of give them a little bit of the backstory. So that's pretty awesome. That's a great tip for aspiring racers.
Yeah. Cause as you well know, and even adults, when you start interviewing them, if you have somebody with a 1 or 2 word answer to the things you ask, it's a struggle to get through that interview because you want them to tell the story, and I have to kind of lead them along. And honestly, it doesn't happen very often. Sometimes when they're a little bit younger or just tend to be more shy. But honestly, some of the best and most fun interviews I've done have been with girls that were 10 or under. And
that's awesome.
Just love, because they're not afraid to say what they want to say. They're not putting it through their head and saying, should I say this? They just say it. And it's awesome. Right. I absolutely love it. So anyway.
That is exactly right. Well, I want to say thank you so much again for having me on tonight. I'm really excited about where racing, and especially like for us, drag racing is headed within the entire world. I mean, you can see it everywhere. It's happening all over the country all the time. So bring it on is what I say. Bring it on.
Absolutely. So Mike, I want you to stay in touch. And if you've got anything big coming up that you want to be on again, all you have to do is reach out. And if anybody wants to see the schedule, they can go to your website, or they can also pick up, go to the magazine. If anybody wants to be on the mailing list for the magazine, just send me your email and you'll get the magazine to your inbox, and you can open it, you can print it, you can share it. And so just send your email to, or on Facebook is the easiest, Women's Motorsports Network, and just reach out to me there with a message of what your email is. And you too can find the schedule for Drag and Drive and all the stories about the women. So I'm happy to help and share with you. And I know you're going to have a show here later. So have a great show tonight. And everybody listen in. Tell them the name of your show.
Yep. So we'll be on the Drag and Drive show presented by Summit Racing at 8 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday night. And then we do a news 30-minute hard-hitting episode on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern. And that's called the Drag and Drive News, presented by Summit Racing.
And so where's the best place for them to find that show?
We're on Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook and
both.
YouTube.
So
Okay.
you can find us everywhere at drag-in-drive addiction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Well,
Awesome.
good luck on
Thank you
your
so
show tonight. And hopefully, if we're not at dinner, I'll be tuning in. Otherwise, I'll listen to it later. So have a good weekend. And hopefully the weather's good where you are. It's sunny and 80 where I am.
Oh,
So
I'm jealous. It's humid here today. So I'm really excited. Well, have a great day. Thank you very much. And have a great dinner with your family.
I will. Thank you. Bye, Mike.
Bye.